All right, Brennan Taylor here, True School Sports. I'm with the one and only Rick Glaser once again. Done it many times. Rick, good to have you back on the show.
Glad to be back here. It took you a long time to ask me again, so what the hell? I mean, come on now.
So you had to ask me. You had to come flag me down.
That's right.
Yeah, and that you did. We have a lot to discuss, Rick. I know you're from Buffalo, so I guess on a light, I don't know, I won't say a lighthearted note, but I know O.J. Simpson passed away recently, and so did Gary Shaw. Do you have any things to say about, I guess, Gary Shaw or O.J. Simpson?
I mean, I always felt that O.J. Simpson was completely normal, and then I believe he developed CTE, and he was undiagnosed for it, and I think that was a big part of his problem. And I've always felt that way. So just to let you know, it's they didn't know much about CT back then. So 30 years ago, people had concussions, they just blew it off, but they didn't realize it had such lingering effects. So I contribute a lot of his ill behavior post his football career to CTE, I believe. CT, so that's my opinion. But he brought Buffalonians a lot of great memories. He was around he was on the nightclub scene here, and he was really out and about. He was Mr. Buffalo.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a big deal. He was a big deal back in the day. Here. Gary Shaw, I never made a nickel with the guy. What am I supposed to say?
So there's not much you can say.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll start, Rick, with last night's performance against last night's fight with Jared Anderson.
You mean lack of a performance? You mean?
Yeah, lack of a performance. It was a snooze fest. It was a paid televised sparring between him and Riyad Mary at best. What did you make of the performance? And I guess who do you think Jared Anderson should fight next?
Well, it was a very bad performance by Jared Anderson, even though he had an uncooperative opponent who wasn't there to fight. He was just there to pick up a paycheck and survive and pick up a paycheck, which he did. But he never stepped up the pace and really put the pressure on the guy. All he did is throw jabs and the occasional right hand, and he let the guy get off the hook when he could have stepped in and, threw 3-4 punch combinations. What was he waiting for? I mean, that was pitiful. Yeah, if he would have thrown, and after the 4th or 5th round, if he would have thrown a 4 or 5 punch combination, the referee would have begged to stop the fight. The referee was bored, for Christ's sake. Yeah, so the referee was looking for a reason to stop the fight, and Jared Anderson never offered any reason to stop the fight.
And it's very telling too that today on the Top Rank YouTube channel, they uploaded all the fights on the card, highlights, but not his fight. So
there was no highlights.
I know that's what I'm saying. There was nothing to upload.
Right. There was nothing to upload. Exactly. It was pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic. There's nothing good to come out of that fight. He just said a payday for both guys, and he ups his record by 1 win, and just. It was pretty disgusting. As I said, they should have penalized the other guy by making him fly cargo on the way back to Brussels.
That's right. Do you have any different perspective on Jared Anderson after that performance?
I think he fights. I think he fights up to the level of competition or down to the level of competition, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he's not a consistent performer. You're saying?
No.
Yeah. So you think if he steps in the ring, if he fights the guys like Joseph Parker and Hergev,
he ain't beating those guys right now. No, Hergev he's got a shot with. He's got no shot with Joseph Parker. Too experienced, got a good chin, can punch, can box, got a good jab. He ain't beating Joseph Parker right now.
Well, no
way.
What about Efe Ajagba? Because I know they're both managed by James Prince. Is there any chance that fight could happen?
I don't see it unless Top Rank says to Prince, come on, let's get the show on the road here. Let's make this fight happen. Then it could maybe happen, but I'm not too optimistic.
Yeah, because that would really and truthfully be the perfect fight for Jared to step up next. Because that's a beatable guy in the top 15.
Yep, you're right, 100%. And FA's right in front of you too. You don't have to look for the guy. He's got no ingenuity at all.
No, and very hittable, so that'd be a chance for Jared to get back to winning ways and get people excited about him.
Well, he was on a winning ways last night. It was just a pathetic winning way. That's all.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out. But Rick, I know one of the big pieces of news last week or this past week was Jaron Ennis signing with Eddie Hearn. What do you make of Jaron Ennis signing with Eddie Hearn, and just what do you think his potential is with Eddie Hearn now?
Well, at least he's going to know when he's fighting, and he's going to get his, 3 fights a year in and know when he's fighting and everything else, and not like he was getting treated like a jack off at PBC, and one Showtime went off the air. They've jacked him off since Showtime went off the air. It was supposed to be on in September. I mean, it's showing December 16th wasn't on. He was supposed to be on the undercard of Canelo and Charlo, yeah. Then it's the 16th, and then this card, the other, the zoo. Then they was going to be fighting on this other card coming up. The Canelo, no. The next one, no. I mean, they didn't know when they were fighting. They were getting jacked. But there's no money at PBC. They're broke. They got no money to pay the guy.
I hear you. You mentioned PBC being broke. I know a lot of people would say that, how could they be broke when they just put on this card with Tim Tszyu and Fundura, and it was this great event, and now they got Canelo.
Well, broke doesn't mean they don't have any money. Okay, but they don't have the money to sign up, have the luxury of signing. When was the last time they signed a good fighter? Don't tell me Canelo.
I was going to say Canelo.
No. Canelo, anybody can sign Canelo. That doesn't take any talent.
Demetrius Andrade.
Okay, nobody wanted him.
He's a good fighter. I'll answer your question. You said a good fighter.
Nobody wanted him.
As far as a young fighter, you're saying, like young guy?
Nobody's signing with PBC. Game's over. Everybody knows it. The whole business knows it.
Okay, look, I hear you. Do you think now with Jaron Ennis signing with Eddie Hearn that the Crawford fight actually is more a possibility? Like Eddie would be willing to put the money to make that fight happen?
What fight?
Jaron Ennis versus Terence Crawford.
That fight is not happening.
Because the argument from Bud was always he doesn't bring no money to the table. He
still doesn't bring any money to the table.
But if Eddie's willing to put the money up, Eddie's overpaid plenty of guys.
Eddie's not putting up the kind of money Terence Crawford wants. Okay, that Terence Crawford can make with other fighters. Mm-hmm. Believe me, I've been through this with multiple people in the business, and they all agree with me.
Okay, fair enough.
Eddie's not in business to lose money.
No, but he has though. He spent a lot of money on the guys like Garcia.
But that was then. This is now.
Okay.
He's learned a lot about American boxing. He just thought because he's Eddie Hearn, he'll just put on a show and the people will buy it on pay-per-view and come out and buy tickets. Doesn't work like that. Yeah, he got disillusioned that he thought he was doing real good when he put Canelo in with Billy Joe Saunders in Houston, and they did that Dallas, and they did that huge crowd. Dallas, they did that huge crowd, and he thought, "Oh, this is great in America." Well, that was an anomaly.
Yeah, that was a one-off. That was an outlier, as they would say.
Right.
You mentioned Terence Crawford, and he's got like a whole truckload of options, and he's a free agent. Where do you think he's going to go, Rick? Because he could fight Virgil Ortiz, he could fight Tim Tszyu.
He's probably going to fight that Madrimov guy. Yeah, the 54-pound champ. Was it WBA? Probably going to fight him first.
The Uzbek.
Yep. I think so.
What do you think about that fight?
I don't think anybody beats Terence Crawford. So, maybe Canelo because he's so big and he's big and strong. But I don't think anybody beats Terence Crawford right now.
Not even a Virgil Ortiz?
No. Too experienced. This guy. He's got too many. He's left-handed. He's got too many tricks up his sleeve. Seriously. Really, really high IQ. I mean, really.
Yeah. We got a question for you, Rick, from my man, Profound Dreamer. He says he wants to know from you: do you have any insight on the Terence Crawford Turkey Al Sheikh negotiations?
I just know that they weren't really negotiations. They had negotiations is something that takes a period of time. When you get on one phone call and you make a deal, that's not a negotiation. That's what they call an agreeable situation. So do I know about the agreeable situation? Yes, a little bit. Just that that happened. It was short and sweet, and they are interested in Terence and in his next fight.
Do you have any insight into like what ballpark they could be paying Terence Crawford? Like what?
Depends on who he's fighting and where the fight is and everything else. It's a range.
I got you. If they fight in Saudi, how much do you think a Majmal fight is worth over there for Crawford?
20-25 million.
Okay. Just for Terence. You're not talking about for bullfight, but just for Terence.
Correct.
Okay. Fair enough. I know Canelo made a lot of
headlines. Do you see Eddie Hearn paying him that to fight
Boots?
Yeah.
No, absolutely
Thank
not.
you. Thank you.
That's a lot of money.
Thank you.
So I like to see the fight. I think Boots and Terence would be one of the best fights that you can make around that weight, but the dollars just aren't going to make sense, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is what it is.
And Crawford's also left 747. He's not going back.
I hear you. I was just kind of hopeful that maybe Eddie Hearn would overpay for that fight because he's overpaid for other fights. I know you're saying he's let the market better, but I was a little optimistic.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know Canelo's made a lot of headlines this week because he's been saying that the Benavidez fight for him is a lose-lose situation because of the rehydration clause and criticism he will get. What have you made about his comments?
Who are you talking about? I mean,
Canelo said that basically the day of Benavidez fight is a lose-lose situation for him because if he fights him with the rehydration clause, people are going to criticize him, and he just feels like no matter what circumstances he fights Benavidez under, he's not going to get any credit. So he's just going to do whatever he wants.
He should do whatever he wants. He's earned that, right?
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, he's 18 years. He's 18 years a professional fighter.
I'm glad you said that. Because I wanted to ask, at what point does a fighter get to pick and choose what they want to do? Because what's the criteria?
When you got two starters, when you got a net worth of $200 million, which supposedly he has, we'll start there.
Okay.
He's undisputed champion. He's been champion at 54, 60, 68, undisputed, won the belt at 75, lost another time at 75. He's got a couple $100 million. He's writing his own ticket.
Yeah. So I'm saying for all fighters, is it strictly just a money thing? Because like, for example, Terence hasn't scaled as many weight classes as Canelo, but he's kind of in a similar situation with Boots, where people want to see that fight, and he's kind of big time in Boots the same way Canelo's big time.
Well, I don't agree with you. You just made a statement. Canelo won world titles at 54, 60, and 68, and in 75, but went back down to 68. Recall won world titles at 135, 140, and it was undisputed at 40 and undisputed at 47. I think it's pretty equal.
Okay, I hear you. But the point remains is that they're both kind of in the same situation where they've reached a certain level in their career. Like, what makes a fighter be able to pick and choose what they want to do? Because is it the same for everybody?
No, it's not the same for everybody because they have to be able to draw. They have to have been champion for a long time. Automatic first ballot Hall of Famer they'll be, which is Crawford and Canelo. In other words, I don't feel that the Charlos are that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I didn't feel Spence was that way. So he was a one weight division champion, and he got his ass lit up.
Yeah. He's on Charlo?
Oh no, Spence.
Spence. Okay.
Charlo. He didn't even. he was so lame versus Canelo. He should be embarrassed for ripping everybody off, having him buy that on pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad the way he disgraced himself because he really was a very good 154 pounder, but to come in there and not even try to win was disgraceful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, does someone like Anaya or Inoue does he get a chance to pick and choose whatever he wants to do?
Absolutely. Making the kind of money that he makes, 55,000 people going to do over $20 million gate. Yes, I think he does. Yes.
Yeah. Do you think he needs American boxing? Because everybody's people have been up in arms about. I think it was Sean Porter that said he needs to come to America. What do you think? How do you see it?
So he can make 3 million over here, 4 million, and he can make fucking 15, 20 million over there.
Yeah.
Listen, I like Sean Porter. He was an excellent fighter. He understands the science of boxing. He should stay out of the fucking business of boxing. I'll leave it like that. And I like Sean. I got nothing against Sean. I like him. He's a good guy. He's good for boxing. He's high spirited. I like him. There's nothing wrong with him. But when he makes these statements about the business of boxing, let's separate the sport and the business. Inoue does not need America, guarantee.
I hear you. Do you think he should? Do you think he should still come to America at some point? Because like
he's been here 3 times.
I know what you mean, but I'm saying like maybe like in a bigger venue against a more high profile opponent.
No, because he can't. He's not going to do $20 million gates like he does over there.
Yeah.
And anybody who wants to fight him will gladly go over there.
Get the passports ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like Top Rank. I mean, Top Rank does a great job promoting a lot of fighters, but I really feel like when they signed him in 2019, they should have been boxing him on the West Coast more and like the Asian American markets, and they never.
Well, you're forgetting something. They signed him. He walked into the pandemic.
No, I know.
And that was that, and he fought once in the pandemic over here with what was it, Maloney?
Maloney, yeah.
Right, and Maloney did as good as anybody did with him, and they were working with a big handicap. They signed him up in the pandemic hit, so you can't get mad at Top Rank for limiting how many times they brought him over here, but they made him good. They made him known amongst boxing fans here, and it raises popularity up over there because of it.
Okay. Well, is there anybody you feel in boxing that's been acting like a diva that tries to be like Canelo or Inoue or these big stars that doesn't have the right to pick and choose what they want to do?
Yeah, the 2 Charlo brothers, those 2 putches.
Yeah. Okay. I know David Benavidez has become like a bigger name throughout this whole Canelo thing, but I know you were going off saying that Benavidez is ducking David Morrell Jr.
No, I didn't say that.
You didn't say that?
What I said was that people are saying that. Basically, I didn't say that I said that, but like if he is ducking him, I mean, if he says Canelo's ducking him, then what's he doing with David Benavidez? And what's he doing with Benavidez doing with David Morrell?
Oh, so you're pointing out a double standard, pretty much.
No, you're missing the point. It's what everybody is saying is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it myself as an opinion of mine.
I got you. Okay,
it's not a double standard. I'll show you double standards.
What's a double? Show me a double standard. What's a double standard?
There's quite a few of them in boxing. Trust me.
Oh, I know. They never end.
Eddie Hearn. He's a human octagon. He's got 8 sides to his mouth.
What's your favorite Eddie Hearn double standard, Rick?
The thing with the drugs. I mean, he backs fighters that are his fighters that failed drug the PED test. I mean, come on now.
What, Conor Benn?
Well, Dillian White, Conor Benn, this guy, that. I mean, a whole bunch of them. It's not isolated to one fighter. It's a whole bunch.
Or even even with Canelo, I know before he started promoting Canelo, he was like, "Oh, well, he's cheating, this, that, and the third," and he's like, "Oh no." And then when he signed Canelo, he didn't talk about Canelo's failed test, even though I know that Canelo hair follicle and all that. But I'm just saying.
He just, like I said, he's got an octagon for a mouth.
Okay. We got a question for you, Rick, from Rasheem Brown. He says, how is Javier Riso better than Roberto Diaz? So I'm going to assume that's the matchmaker, right? The new matchmaker for Golden Boy?
How is he better?
How is Javier Riso better than Robert Diaz? That's the question.
I don't think he's better, but I think he's more equipped to do the job, and with a better temperament.
Better temperament. Robert Diaz didn't have a good temperament when he was working at
Well,
Golden Boy.
They let him go, didn't they?
Yeah.
After what, 16 years, 17 years?
But that could be for a number of reasons. It was just because of his temperament.
Well, no, there was multiple reasons, but let's just put it this way to you, that Javier Riso is doing a very, very good job. And, Eric Gomez chips in over there and also helps out. He's more involved in it than he was before when Roberto was there, and you got Oscar's son Devin involved in the matchmaking department now, and they get the job done every show. They're putting out some good shows, very good shows actually.
No, for sure. I know the show that you're going to really soon. That the big fight next week. Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney.
I leave Tuesday morning. My wife and I.
Safe travels. You got any thoughts on that fight, Ryan and Devin?
Conventional wisdom is Haney wins a decision, but it's one of those outbet fights at 8-1 that the challenger has a path to victory, an avenue to victory, and that's by knockout. He's got quick twitch muscles. He has got really good power especially from the left hook, and if he catches him, anything could happen. Nobody's ever said it. Haney's got a great chin. Nobody's mentioned it good, bad, or indifferent. So we'll see.
Well, the best chins are the ones that get the least tested. You don't get hit cleanly too many times, Devin.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But listen, he's tall for the weight class. Ryan is. He's punching down. We'll see. He's got a shot at victory. It's not like he can't win. He can win. I don't think he wins, but he has at least he has an avenue to win. A lot of times when a guy's 8-1, he's got no avenue to win.
Yeah. What about his the psychological part of the fight? Because Ryan's been all over the place on social media.
I think there's a lot of bullshit and I think a lot of it's phony.
Yeah,
he's talked to people behind the scenes, the one-on-one with it, and he's acted completely normal and rational.
Yeah, so, that's what you're hearing from Golden Boy and whatnot about Ryan?
That's what I'm hearing from other people, not people from Golden Boy, people in the gym and Texas and stuff like that.
So basically, he's just promoting this fight, and
that's what I think.
Yeah. Okay. I hope so, because he's touching all avenues. He's touching politics, women, everything. Everything.
Well, he knows. I'm sure he's a well versed on politics, highly educated about politics. He probably went to 4-year college for political science. I get it.
Yeah. Shout out to Ismail Bermudez with the $20 super chat. If you got a question, Ismail, feel free to drop it for Rick, and we'll get your question in. Thank you so much.
$20. He can ask any question he wants.
Ask anything you want, Ismail. Another question for you, Rick. Free Smoke wants to know from you: is there any insight on if Saudi really wants Devin Haney? I'm wondering why Haney and Ryan wasn't in Saudi.
I don't think two Americans have the interest over there that people think that they would have. I just don't think so. See, the Brits go over there for vacations to Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and all those places over there, Qatar, and all those places. So
Tenerife.
What's that?
I'm saying Tenerife, right there.
Yeah. So the point is, here's the point. The point is, two Americans fighting over there, I don't think cuts the mustard. I just don't. I think if he was fighting a guy from the UK, Haney or Ryan Garcia, they'd be more interested, or a guy from some other part of the world. Yes, I just don't think two Americans fighting over there will do much good.
Okay. Yeah, they definitely seem to. Saudis have a vested interest in mostly just heavyweight boxing too. I think even if it's good fights, like.
They've had one they've had a cruiserweight title fight. They've got a light heavyweight title fight come up. They're mostly the bigger guys.
Correct.
The big men of the sport, no question about that, or the bigger men,
Correct.
including the light heavyweights and the cruiserweights.
Not for sure. Another question for you, Rick. Rasheen wants to know, why is Eddie Hearn always a co-promoter? Is he not smart?
I can't answer that question. It's actually a bright question. Rasheen, I asked Rasheen where he's from. What city?
Rasheen, where are you from? Rick wants to know. You know, what's the question? Oh yeah, I saw that you had a lot to say about Jim Lampley's comments about Benavidez being heavyweight champion. I thought it was pretty funny. You want to expound upon what Jim Lampley said about Benavidez?
No, you can do it. You're doing a hell of a job yourself. You tell him.
So basically, Jim Lampley said that Dave Benavidez has
punches like Mike Tyson.
He punched like Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson.
Lennox Lewis, yeah.
And he's going to be the first serious Mexican American heavyweight champion. I couldn't believe it. And I love Jim Lampley. He's a legend of the sport, but I couldn't.
That was then. This is now.
So is it possible, Rick, for even media people to be in the clubhouse?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Jesus Christ,
because when I heard that, I said, "Damn, I gotta stay sharp."
Yeah. What? Where's Rasheen from? He didn't tell us yet?
Rasheen never stated where he was. Oh, he said he's from Canada, New York, the Hall of Fame.
Oh, is he really?
I guess so.
I'll see him at. Hopefully, he'll be at the fights on June 7th at Turning Stone. I'll be there. June 7th. He can introduce himself. Yep.
No, for sure. That's during Hall of Fame weekend, correct?
Yes, I'm an elector at the Hall of Fame in Canada.
I know. I remember you were talking about getting me a vote at the Hall of Fame at one point.
Yeah, I still like to, but so far they're not accepting new electors.
Yeah, well, when they do, let me know.
I told them that you bill yourself as just a guy from Dana.
Dana, Florida. Beach. I bill myself as a lot of things, Rick. I mean, I'm just a kid from Dana. I'm the untouchable. It's a lot of things. I'm where I want to be on that.
You're untouchable. You're untouchable, and the check shows up after a meal. I know you are.
That's true for sure. I put the tracksuits on and get my Usain Bolt on. Start make that dash, make the run.
Yep.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame weekend, I went to the Hall of Fame back in March, and I'm definitely gonna try to make it out to the Hall of Fame this year. I want to go.
Eric Tudor's fighting
on that card.
Yeah.
Oh, that's added incentive. Shout out to Eric Tudor. He looked good his last fight.
Yep, he's fighting the 10-rounder, his first 10-rounder.
Do you know the opponent by any chance?
I can't discuss it publicly. That's for Golden Boy to release that information.
All right.
I can't do that.
Fair enough. Stay professional. Free Smoke wants to know from you, Rick, or what about the $40 million for Tank to fight Devin in Saudi? Was that BS?
I don't know. I never looked into it, so I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Hyro wants to know from you, Rick, when did you discover that Steven Espinosa was a rat?
You mean, well, he's actually a weasel. Is he a rat too? I don't doubt it. He's so small he might qualify as a gerbil.
Damn.
He's just a bad guy. He really is. He lies about everything. I mean, people say that Trump lied a lot. I mean, this guy makes Trump look like he tells the truth, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, he's giving the politicians a good run for the money.
Yeah, he's telling people that the fight with Zoo did 275,000 homes. I mean, nuts. It did a touch over 20,000 here, and it did a touch over 30 in Australia. But TBC doesn't get any money for the Australians. That's owned by Fox of Fox TV. It's got nothing to do with them. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with them. So by how was it? No Limit.
No Limit Boxing. Yep.
Yeah, George No Limit. Right. No Limit, and they've lent it out to. They've for years have a long-term contract with Fox over there. And Fox pay-per-view.
Not for sure. David wants to know from you, Rick, Well, what do you think about Gustav Lmos getting robbed? Do you think he got robbed, or do you think he won the fight against Hitchens?
I thought it was close. Could have went either way. It was a sloppy fight. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with either guy, to be honest with you. I didn't think he got robbed. It was a close fight. He could have went either way.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I know. Yeah, Hitchens, he looked very sluggish at the longer that fight went on.
Definitely.
And I know. Talking to Keith Connolly, like it sounded like he's weight drained because they had to get like nutritionists and perfecting athletes involved. And anytime you hear them, a fighter's really gonna have to cut weight.
Yeah, 55,000. It's an awful lot of money.
Is that what it costs, really?
That's what I heard.
Jesus. Now I can see why very few fighters have perfecting athletes. That's just expensive. Hara wants to know from you, Rick, is he a bad person for liking PBC?
Is he a bad? No, he's a bad person for many reasons. He's talking about Espinosa again?
No, no. The Hyrule is a huge fan of PBC. He likes the way they promote their fights when they actually do have fights.
Is he a bad person because he likes PBC? No, he's just that his choices are.
He needs to make choices.
Yeah, he doesn't have good taste. No, that's true. But that doesn't make him a bad person.
I hear you. I know you put out a really interesting list of like the best prospects in America. I just saw it before we went on live. You had Amari Jones 6, Steven Navarro 5, Joel Iriarte 4. You had Carmel Moulton 3. You had Bruce Carrington 2, and you had Abdullah Mason 1. Why do you think Abdullah Mason is the best American prospect right now?
Well, I made a mistake because I didn't realize is for guys that hadn't gotten to 10-round level yet. Okay. Number one, and I didn't. The one guy pointed out that Shushu's been in 2 10-rounders. I thought they were 8s, and they ended so quickly. You didn't even I didn't know, and I thought they were 8s. I just didn't think 8, 9 fights. Top Rank would put guys in 10-rounders already. That's not like them normally. So unless they were like little like Lomachenko and they got him, but I didn't know. But why is he the best? He's got fast hands. He's powerful. He's accurate, and he's sharp. He looks very good to me. Now, could we see a character flaw? Could the guy fall in love and be weak for a broad? Could the guy get involved with drugs? Could the guy not get money in the bank and say, I don't need to do this anymore? I don't know, but for so far at this level, he looks damn good.
Yeah, extremely sharp. He's been a pretty consistent performer throughout his career thus far. Right. Mm-hmm. The kid Carmel Moulton, I mean, I'm a big Carmel Moulton fan. You have him rated pretty high, so you obviously rate him highly. What is it that you like about Carmel Moulton?
Well, he's got fast hands. He's powerful. He's quick. He's got a little bit of a personality. So it looks pretty good to me. But it's early. All those guys, it's early. You know what I mean? They don't have a lot of wins yet, and they're growing. Navarro's only had 1 fight, for Christ's sake. What the other guy, Morton's only had 3. So
3 or 4.
Yeah, they're coming along.
Okay. What did you make of Tim Tszyu versus Fundora, that fight?
Well, I think Tim Cheatham that's a perfect last name for him. I mean, what was that score? What the fuck? What do I think? I think that if he wouldn't have got cut on the forehead, I think that he would have probably won the fight, handily, because he was winning the fight until that cut happened. Then he fell apart. So that's pretty much how I feel. Yeah,
he was. A lot of things went right for Fundora that night. So hopefully they could go ahead and do a rematch at some point. I know Fundora has to sit out for like a while because of all the cuts and injury and the blood he lost.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. It was all pretty serious.
Yeah.
Both guys,
Yeah. I mean, I know Terence Crawford. I mean, those are 2 guys that they talked about Terence Crawford fighting too.
Yeah. I mean, Crawford eat both their lunches in the same night.
No chance. No hope for those guys against Bud.
No hope.
You know what? Isak Cruz becoming a champion, Rick. I don't know how long he's going to stay there. I heard he might vacate his belt, and move back down to 35. But if he stays at 40, you think there's any possibility for a Mexico Puerto Rico unification fight between him and Subriel Matias?
Absolutely not.
No, Sean Gibbons won't allow it. PBC won't allow it.
No, PBC won't allow it.
Because I feel like that's a fight that would be a successful night at the office. Puerto Rico, Mexico, unification. Two come forward fighters.
Yeah, but it won't happen.
Okay. I know the featherweight division's been
especially after Subriel Matias just left them to go to Eddie Hearn, especially for that reason.
Yeah. So they're going to feel some type of way about him being with Fast Eddie.
Right.
Yeah. I know the featherweight division has been just on fire the whole year. I got so much to ask you just about that weight class, Rick. What
weight class?
Featherweight, 126.
That's a hot weight class.
It's a very hot weight class. I know you had that class, the really exciting fight between Raymond Ford and Komatov, where Raymond Ford scored the stoppage. What was your take on the fight? Like, did you have Komatov?
It was a great fight. It was an excellent fight, and I was very impressed. Here, you hear this right here?
I'm listening.
You hear that?
What is it?
It's $5,100 bills that I won on Raymond Ford.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You bet on Raymond Ford?
Yep.
By stoppage?
I bet him to win outright and by stoppage, both.
Damn. Yeah.
Yep.
What made you bet on Raymond Ford?
Fast hands, and the other guy really hadn't fought much, and just sort of liked him, So
was it like
liked him.
Was it his demeanor, or
everything? He's something about him that says winner. You know what I mean? One of those kind of guys, and I just liked his attitude, his swagger, and said, I got some extra money that I don't know what to do with presently, and if I lost it, it wouldn't matter, and if I won, it would be fun. So there you go.
Okay, yeah, I was there. It was a great fight. Also, I know a fight that me and you discussed recently on the phone, because they're trying to make it happen, is Angel Leo versus Venado Lopez. Supposedly that's a fight that Top Rank wants to do, or not Top Rank, but Venado's manager wants to do, and I know Angelo wants to do it. If they do fight for the IBF title, who do you favor?
It's a hell of a fight. I don't know. It's a pretty good fight. I don't know. It's a good fight.
Yeah, because Venado does everything wrong in the book. He didn't have a lot of amateur experience, and Angelo Leo might be one of the most, or might be the most active fighter in boxing, apart from maybe like Joseph Parker, because he's had 3 fights in 5 months, so he's gonna be sharp.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I like Angelo. I'm a fan. I like him. I think he's a cool guy, and I like his demeanor and stuff like that. I think he's good for boxing.
Yeah, he's definitely good for boxing. I can say that for sure.
You got on a plane, went all the way up to Tampa to see him from Miami, from Fort Lauderdale. What the fuck?
Yeah, I've seen him every fight he's had on Pro Box. I've seen, so it's right there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Is there any fight at featherweight that you'd like to see? Like, what's your best? What's the fight? What's the matchup that will get Rick Glaser the most excited in the featherweight division? Because there's so
probably Lopez and Leo. Probably that fight. I like that fight. That's a fun fight.
Yeah, just because of the styles.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I like that fight too. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, Top Rank and Pro Box and the fine folks, they get it done, because it's a Mexican American versus Mexican, and that's where you always get excitement.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, staying in the featherweight division, I know Ruben Villa won last night, and you mentioned Bruce Carrington as well. Is that maybe a fight that you could see Top Rank doing? Maybe Bruce Carrington versus Villa, or Bruce Carrington versus
that's a way to get rid of Villa.
Yeah.
So yeah, say goodbye to Villa.
Yeah. No chance for Ruben Villa.
Could he win? Does he have an avenue to win? Yeah, he got an avenue to win.
Can box his ass off.
Yeah, he can. He can. But Carrington's so quick and got power and accurate, and his ring IQ is real high. I think I think Carrington's going to use him as cannon fodder. To be honest with you.
Damn.
But it's a good fight.
Okay. We got a question for you, Rick, from Hyro. He says, Gary Shaw stole money from Timothy Bradley. Any ill will?
I never knew that. If that happened, if that happened, I'm not saying it didn't happen because I'm not defending Gary Shaw. And I like Timothy Bradley. I voted for him for the Hall of Fame. I like him. And I think Timothy Bradley's great for boxing, but I never heard that before the other day. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how he stole it. I mean, did he put him in a fight and it was, let's say, $2 million? And did he give the kid $1.4 million or $1.5 million? Probably did, but that's how the business is. The promoter takes his money off the top and gives the rest to the fighter. Correct. So that's not stealing money. So I have to hear a better description of how the money was reputedly stolen.
Yeah, because I never.
And I'm no friend of Gary Shaw. I never made a dime with that fuck.
Are you only friends with people you make money with, Rick?
No, absolutely not.
I got you.
But I was not friends with him, and I never made a dime with the guy.
So there's no reason for you to stick up for him or anything like that.
Right. I have no reason to stick up for him. I just want to hear how it happened, if it happened, and to pass judgment.
Okay. Fair enough. I know I saw today one of your favorite fighters, Sonny Edwards, just signed to fight former world champion Adrian Gurriel.
June 29th. That's and the BAM card. That's a good fight. That's a fun fight. That's a very good fight. I like the fight a lot.
Yeah. How do you see it? What kind of fight do you think it'll be?
Somebody wins by decision.
So what, either Sonny by like counter punching using his legs, or either Adrian Gurriel.
Yeah. I was disappointed the way Sonny fought Bam. Here's a guy that boxed his whole career, and all of a sudden he's coming forward and trying to put pressure on Bam, who's left-handed and a tremendous accurate puncher. I mean, what was he thinking?
Yeah, just trying to let his nuts hang.
I don't know. He's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw staying in the Golden Boy Zoro Ramirez, he wound up winning the cruiserweight title against Gulamarian. Boxed a pretty good fight. What did you make of his performance, and how do you think Zoro would do against the likes of like a Jair Pataya or Chris Billum-Smith?
I don't think he beats Opataya. I just don't think. One can almost make 175, and one can barely make 200, and he's going to heavyweight, Opataya. So he's got a lot of big physical advantages. I think that he beats the Englishman. I think he does do that, yes, but I don't think he beats Opataya. And I don't think Opataya is long for the weight class. I think maybe one more defense and he goes to heavyweight.
How good do you think Opataya is? Because some people say he's going to go down as one of the best I've heard everything from he's overrated, so he's going to go down as one of the best cruiserweights. How good do you think he is from a talent standpoint?
Well, let's put it this way to you. I think he's a great fighter, and I don't know how he'll do it heavyweight yet. But once he fights somebody like Joseph Parker or a what's the other guy's name?
Dubois?
No, the other guy.
Hergev?
No. Another Englishman.
Oh,
Dillian White.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dillian White. If you fight somebody like that, I'll have a better gauge. But he looks good so far. I think he'll make a good heavyweight. Got good footwork, good hand speed. And he's a good fighter. Looks like a complete fighter to me.
I think definitely one of Eddie Hearn's best in that whole matchroom stable.
Mm-hmm.
We have another question to you, Rick, from Hyro. He wants to know: have you ever done business with Leon Margulies, Gary Shaw? Yeah, because I call Leon. I thought Leon Margulies was Gary Shaw one time, like years ago.
Have I ever done business with Leon? Yeah, I did business with Leon years and years ago, back in the 90s and the 2000s.
the early 2000s, like those Warriors boxing days when these had the shows down here in South Florida?
Nah, one up in Minnesota, one in New York City. Hit a couple of shows.
Okay. Well, was it good? Was it good business?
It was all right. It was
Yeah.
just acceptable. That's all. Not good or bad.
I got you. Just you were indifferent towards it all.
Just another guy.
I got you. You know what, Rick? It'd be interesting to hear from you. Like, out of all the guys in your whole time in boxing you've done business with, like, who are like the top 3 most enjoyable, like, people to deal with in the business, and then the top 3, I guess, least enjoyable?
Most enjoyable?
Yeah.
In no particular order.
Yeah, no particular order.
Don King.
Okay.
Bob Arum. Well, and his people. You know, and Bob's people, of course.
And then the staffs. You're saying.
Right, and then the executives and staff, right, and Oscar De La Hoya and his staff, his executive staff, and his people, all Don King himself, not necessarily his staff, but himself, great, and Don Majeski, who's not a promoter, he's an international agent, but I've done a lot of business. Don and I have done a lot of business back and forth, and he's a hell of a guy. Don's from College Point, Queens in New York City, and Don's like 71 or 72 now, and he's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, he's still alive and kicking. Shout out to Don Majeski. Legend.
Yep.
And what about the least enjoyable?
Murad Muhammad, who's no longer in the business, Lou DiBella, and Al Heyman.
It's funny you mentioned Lou DiBella because I had, he blocked me on Twitter recently.
You should thank him.
I should. He got all butthurt because I was saying that he was bitching and moaning about Gustav Lmos getting, he thought he got screwed in the fight against Hitchens. And he was talking about how the boxing system is corrupt. And
let me explain something to you. Okay, there's not a robbery.
No, I know.
That was a fight that could have went either way, and it did.
Yeah.
So he's wrong.
But Lou was saying it was a robbery, which
it was not a robbery. Nobody that I know that thought it was a robbery.
I know plenty of people that thought it was a robbery. And then probably
well,
chat. If you guys think Lemos was a robbery against Hitchens, mention it in the comments. But he was complaining about the boxing system and how it's corrupt and how it alienates the fans. And I just made the point to Lou, and I told Lou kindly, I said, hey, because I thought I don't know what you thought, but I thought Maxie Hughes beat George Kambosos Jr. And I just pointed out that he wasn't talking about Dubious decision in that fight. And I was, I didn't call him out of his name. I was kind, and he just blocked me because he couldn't take the heat. So, it is what it is.
I know why he blocked just a guy from Dana. Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Son of a bitch. Another reason why he's a cockroach.
A scum-sucking pig.
Yes.
See, look, Rick, you got people here. Hand History Vault says it's a robbery. Gustavo got robbed big time. There's a lot of people in the world that think that Gustavo Lmos got screwed in that fight.
A lot of everybody I talked to said it could have went either way, and it did. I mean, I don't know. I talked a whole bunch of boxing guys.
Even at the arena when I was there at the Fountain Blue, a lot of people in attendance they thought Lmos won. So I mean, I think it was close enough to definitely warrant a rematch. Even if you thought it wasn't a robbery or you thought Lmos won, Hitchens won, it was close enough to warrant a rematch. I think, but. He's
definitely.
Yeah. What do you think about the two heavyweight fights on that Saudi card? They haven't formally announced them yet, but it's reported that June 1st, supposedly, Philip Hergev is going to fight Daniel Dubois, and Wilder's going to fight Zhili Zhang. What do you think about those two matchups?
Great fights. I don't know who wins either.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Really good fights, both of them.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think?
I think Hergev's going to beat Dubois, but I'm high on Hergevich.
Dubois is a quitter, but he's looked good recently in his last couple of fights. So who knows? And let's see what.
Well, that's part of the reason why I don't think he's going to win. He's a quitter, and Hergevich. I know he didn't light the world on fire against Zhang, but even in that fight, he showed that he wasn't a quitter. That was like the worst he'll probably ever look.
Yeah, but don't forget one thing about being a quitter. You got to make a guy quit.
Yeah.
So see what happens.
We'll see. Okay. What do you think? Oh, you mentioned Don King earlier, and I'm glad you did because Don King's putting together a very interesting matchup. Blair Cobbs versus Adrian Broner. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I know all about it. And then he's having the WBC cruiserweight title on the same show. The challenger is the mandatory Ryan Rosnicki from Canada versus I don't know, the
Noel
guy
McCallion.
changes. What's his name?
Noel McCallion, the one that beat
Yes,
Makabu.
yes, yeah. He used to be called Gavor. Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah. By any
Yeah.
chance, I mean, I don't know if you're allowed to confirm this or not, but is that fight going to be in South Florida?
I don't work for Don. I used to years ago, but I don't work for Don. But he's my friend. He's my friend. Yeah, it's probably going to be. He was trying to put it in the Bahamas, but I think it's going to be in South Florida.
I hope it's
probably
in South Florida.
Probably at the Hard Rock. That's right by your house, isn't
it? No comment.
How far is that from where you live?
The Hard Rock.
Yeah.
Oh no,
hard cock, but yeah.
No. I don't live nowhere near there. Listen, and they don't have the fights at the Hard Rock. They have the fights at Miami Casino.
No. This show's gonna be at the Hard Rock, I think.
The one in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's not too far from me. I'm further south, but
not much, right?
Yeah, not much. Well, I don't live in Dania Beach anymore. I moved pretty far south years ago, but.
Oh, where do you live now?
Homestead.
Homestead?
Yeah, I live in Homestead.
That's the wilderness of Miami, for Christ's sake.
I know, but I like it out here though. It's nice.
That's where the Speedway is. They got the NASCAR track there.
Yeah, the Speedway is like one of the streets I go on. I go on the Speedway Boulevard every day.
No kidding. I didn't know that. When did you move down there?
Like 2020 to 2021. Like, yeah.
Why did you move there from Dana?
I can't disclose it on the air. But it's good though.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay. Homestead. I didn't know anybody lived there.
Yeah, no, people live here, and they actually got like they had a couple nice little gyms here. They had this amateur gym up the street from my house. Got this 140-pounder that trains.
How's the crime rate there?
It's good. It's okay. Like, it's not too bad where I live, but if you go like a little further south towards like Florida City, that's where it gets real hectic. It gets crazy over there.
Okay. You were supposed to say the crime rate was low until I got there. Talking about yourself, but it's all right.
No, man, I stay out of trouble most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Rick, what do you think about Edgar Berlanga against Diego Pacheco? Because I know,
not happening. No sense of talking about a fight that ain't happening. Not happening.
Well, is it? I mean, I already know the answer because I interviewed Keith Conley myself. But like, if they can't do the Canelo fight, Berlanga and Canelo next, like they can't just go fight Pacheco because they're right there in the rankings. I don't understand why they won't just do that fight if the Canelo fight doesn't happen for Berlanga. It's a great fight.
But there's not enough money in the fight to satisfy the Berlanga side, including Keith. I don't blame him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure he's invested a lot of money in Edgar over the years.
No, not necessarily.
No,
not necessarily. But it's just that at a certain point, that you're looking for a certain fight for millions and millions, and you're going to come up with a couple million to fight him. It's not worth it.
I hear you. Yeah, because when I asked him about it, he was like just so overly dismissive of that fight. And
right, as I am.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I know Top Rank has that show on May 18th, the Giovani Santillan versus Brian Norman Jr. What do you think about that matchup, Rick? And if Giovani Santillan wins that fight, realistically, what are the big fights for Giovani?
Well, I think that it'll be for the WBO welterweight title. I think Crawford will give it up by then, or it'll be for the interim title or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do I think? I think that Giovanni's Santillan mops the floor with him.
Okay.
It's not as good a fight as people make it out to be, in my opinion.
Nah, personally, I think Giovani should beat the brakes off Brian Norman. Brian Norman hasn't really shown anything since he signed with Top Rank. He had a big record from beating up cab drivers in Atlanta, and then he signed with Top Rank. They put live competition in front of him, and he didn't look that good. He didn't look good against Quentin Randall. He didn't look good against Figueroa. So It is what it is.
You got it.
Who do you
You
think is
got it.
who do you think is like a realistic big fight for Giovani though at 147? Because I know he's not gonna fight. That he can't fight Boots, right? Because I mean maybe he's Eddie now, but like
He's not going to fight. He's not going to fight Boots.
Who do you think he'd fight? Like
I don't think he's going to fight anybody. I think once he gets to hold the WBO title, he have 3-4 defenses over a couple years, 18 months, 2 years, and we'll see who he can unify versus.
Okay. See how it goes.
Right.
Did you hear? I'm sure you heard about Derek James and Errol Spence splitting up. You got any opinions on that?
Yeah, Earl should pay the guy, and I'm no fan of either guy. I mean, I don't mind Derek, but I'm not. He's not a friend. You know what I mean? But he should pay him. He guy worked. Whether he lost or not, this schmuck lost or not, has nothing to do with it. Derek put the work in. Derek put the time in. Well, and you make an enemy out of a guy in your own hometown like that? What a fucking fool this guy is.
A guy that built you from the ground up, taught you everything you know about boxing.
Right. Talk about a guy that might have CT. It might be him.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Pretty
people forget this. People forget this. Derek James was a fighter. Did you know that?
Of course. Yeah, he fought
middleweight. Otis Grant.
Yeah, I forgot who he fought. He had one fight. Not Otis Grant. There was another fight he had. Not Otis Grant. There was another notable fight. I watched it one time, but I can't remember who it was right now. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, Rick, why do fighters get like that? Because I know like Holyfield had a situation like that with Emmanuel Stewart after the bull rematch. Why do fighters get like that with their trainers? Like they don't want to pay their trainers?
I don't know. It's a mystery. That's the guy who spends the most amount of time with the guy. And, they're the ones that are supposed to be looking out for him, and they do look out for him, then they fuck him. I don't know.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're not making any money, and then when they get to that level, now you don't want to pay what you owe. It's not cool.
No.
Let me see. I think I had like one. Oh, I didn't ask you about, because I saw you post about it or tweet about him. Ernesto Marcato. I know he had a big knockout or a knockout win. I don't know about big, but knockout win against Danny Barrios on the Red Owl Boxing Show. What's your take on Ernesto Marcato, just overall as a fighter?
Good fighter, unproven so far. Was it Nakatia, or he beat somebody? Who did he beat? Fresh my memory. Did he?
He beat Nakatia. They moved them up weight classes.
He's solid. He's a good fighter. He's coming up quick. He's young. He's like 21 years old, so he's big for the weight class at 140. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, I know. Like the knock I hear through people I know, like in boxing, is that he's got his dad with him, and they want to stay independent, so that kind of hinders them. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. If everybody's saying it, there's truth in quantity. Everybody can't be wrong, right?
Yeah, they can't be wrong. Mr. Hamanite PBC says, "Why is Steve Kim not a respected reporter anymore?" Why are we asking these kind of questions? But if you want to answer that, Rick,
I have no idea. Isn't he on that talk show every day?
What's his name? About? Jason Whitlock. I mean, I know. I mean, I respect Steve Kim. I mean, I don't
know. I don't know where that came from. I think Steve Kim's a really bright guy.
I haven't talked to Steve.
Really good boxing guy. Matter of fact, I even told Steve if I was a promoter or ran a promotional company that was a good size, I'd hire him.
Yeah.
And not for publicity, just overall. One of those kind of guys who can do almost anything. He's a talented guy.
No, he's a great guy.
So I don't agree with what
I don't agree with that. Saying. Like I've never really had like an extended conversation with Steve Kim, but I do respect him, and he's done a lot of great work in boxing. So I'm not gonna hate on Steve Kim. So yeah, I'm gonna just skip past that. But Rick, we reached the hour mark, so I'm gonna wrap it up. You got any?
What a shame.
Huh?
What a shame.
Unless you want to keep going, you got anything else that's burning in your soul you want to talk about?
Boxing.
You got any stories? I know you love telling your stories.
I got one story for you.
Go ahead. Let him have it.
I call up a fighter offering him a fight, and he said, and he told me, he says he can't do that because his daughter's graduating from grammar school on that day. And he says if they can move the fight 1 week, I can do it the following week.
Yeah.
I said, did anybody tell you the B side you can't sell a ticket, and the show's going on TV on this particular date?
And what did he say?
That's what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, these fighters, man, many of them, they live in an alternate reality, unfortunately. It'd be very difficult to deal with.
I know. Listen, it's been a pleasure. If anybody wants to follow me on Twitter, it's at Real Rick Glaser 1. It's a verified account, and I've got like 11,500 followers, and glad to follow, answer all boxing questions, and I look to be on your show again relatively quickly, Brendan.
Sure.
This has been way too far in between shows. I enjoy going on your show. You ask good questions. I like people that are highly spirited, such as yourself.
Yeah.
I'm glad I know you don't live in Broward County anymore. At least I know it's safe to go over there.
Okay. All right. Make sure though, when you come back to the friendly confines of South Florida, I still need my grouper sandwich that you've been talking about.
You got it. It may not be grouper, okay, but it'll be maybe lobster or crab or something, but it'll be high class. Don't worry about that.
All right.
Let's say hello to your dad for me, okay?
I definitely will, Rick. You take care of yourself.
Bye now.
All right. So that was Rick Glaser, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back live tomorrow. Tomorrow's live will be about Jaron Ennis and Eddie Hearn, and we're going to really press in on that. Stay tuned for more announcements on True School Sports. There's a couple things I'm going to announce this week. More content dropping. We got Sean to tell on Thursday to close out the 90 days of live. So today was day number 86 in our 90 Days of Boxing live series. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Rick's been faithfully coming on here since 2017, 2018. I know I was the first person to interview Rick. I can't remember if it was 2017 or 2016. It's been so long, but I've been interviewing him longer than anybody. So hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Jaron Ennis live, and we'll talk about that and amongst other things in boxing. And in between, from now and then, stay tuned for any and all content dropping on True School Sports and in the shorts and the videos and all that good stuff. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.